Now, coming to our topic, we are in second unit. We are studying what the things about embedded systems. What are the different parts of typical embedded system? See, we are studying this core. What can we keep here in the place of system core? Whether it is microprocessor or microcontroller or DSP or anything, right? We have studied about uh, two things. What are those? Harvard architecture and von Neumann architecture. This is a different ways of placing the components. Then we have studied about what a risk and assist way of processing the instructions. Next, what we have studied about differences between microprocessor and microcontroller, which is which we have already studied in our first unit. Now I think we need not to discuss anymore about differences between microprocessor and microcontroller. Next, we studied about DSP processor. DSP processor means it takes the input from the signals, right? Now, we are going to study about, see, I think what is the difference between general purpose processor and application specific processor? Simply in shortcut, we can call this as ASIC. What is general purpose processor? General purpose means we can remove that processor from the core. We can place in the washing machine. We can place in the what microwave oven. We can place in the air conditioner. Anywhere we, as per our requirement, we can place it. We can remove it. We can reprogram it. When it comes to ASIC, application specific instruction set processor, we cannot remove that. We means end user. We are not developer in this scenario. We are what end user. We can remove that. We cannot remove that. We cannot uh, remove that ASIC from the air conditioner. We cannot place that in the microwave oven. That is the difference between general purpose and application. General purpose means it will be costly. Application specific means it is compact one. Like we don't have much features in that, so we'll get with the lesser size with the less price. See, what about we have already studied about DSPs. Now about application specific integrated circuits. ASIC is a microchip designed to perform specific and unique applications. Specific means what? Particularly air conditioner is a specific one. Unique means what? Some set of ICs only intended for air conditioner. That is unique. Some set of ICs only for microwave. That is unique, right? Using a single chip for integrating several functions reduce the system to development cost. I told you, right? Only specific functions, not multiple functions. Most of the ASICs are proprietarily, which having some trade name like Intel, Atmel, like Microchip, like this products. It is referenced as application specific standard products. So Intel ASICs are for only Intels, right? They cannot be changed, right? They manufacture that integrated circuits. They program it, right? As a single chip ASIC consumes a very small area and total system, thereby helps the designer small system with the high capabilities of functionalities. See guys, suppose in this particular subject, suppose some complex question is asked in your examination, write about ASIC. See, if you remember some points regarding cost of the ASIC, size of the ASIC, complexity, power consumption, price, all these points, you can generalize it. You can write it for DSP. You can write those points for PLDs. Anywhere you can write that. Only thing is, see, whenever we are going for a integrated circuit, it should come in less price. It should occupy less space. It should consume less power. It has to perform sophisticated, complex operations, right? So whenever we go to market, see, our intention is like we have to spend only 10 rupees, but we have to get vanilla ice cream, chocobar, what 5-star dairy milk, lace, kurkure, everything for 10 rupees. It should be there, right? Within 10 rupees. If you want, whenever we are going for a purchase, our mindset will be like this, right? So here also same thing. We are spending less price, but it has to consume less power. It has to occupy less space. It has to perform higher operations. Same points you can write whenever it is required, right? As a single chip, ASIC consume very small area in the total system, thereby helps the design a smaller system which high capabilities and functionalities. Suppose if it occupies less power, if it is lazy like a donkey, will you purchase it? No. Even if it occupies less space, it consumes less power. It has to run like a horse. Then only you purchase that. The developers of such chips may not be interested in revealing the internal details of that. See here, the one more point is that suppose such kind of ICs is manufactured by Intel, it will not reveal those secrets to Microchip. It will not reveal that secrets to Qualcomm. Next, what about PLDs, programmable logic device? See, a programmable logic device is an electronic component used to build reconfigurable digital circuits. Suppose I told you the constraint in previous case, ASIC. What is that constraint? An end user cannot program it. An end user cannot change the program. Suppose if I am working in an industry, what is my duty? Suppose I am designing what traffic lights, I am designing oxygen concentrators, I am designing pulse oximeters, I am designing some gadgets, right? Then what happens? See, in India, we are not having any industry which can manufacture the integrated circuit. See, I show you integrated circuit. See, no industry can not manufacture these kind of integrated circuits, right? I have to purchase it from Intel and all. Suppose if it is not letting me to program it, suppose I am working in manufacturing of oxygen concentrators. By purchasing this particular integrated circuit, if I am not able to add program in it according to my oxygen concentrator, what happens? This IC is what it is waste for me. It is I'm not having any use with this IC, right? Then for how to overcome this particular issue, I can buy this integrated circuit, but I cannot use in my application as a developer. If I want to manufacture this with the technology in Hyderabad, I'm not able to manufacture this. Then how to overcome this? I have to get this integrated circuit. I am able to program in this integrated circuit, right? For overcoming this program, suppose if I am having an integrated circuit in my air conditioner, can I remove that? Can I change that program? No, I cannot change that program. I cannot use that integrated circuit which is in air conditioner in my oxygen concentrator. So for overcoming this, they invented what? PLDs. What is this PLD? In previous class, I told you like there are two types of PLDs. One is PAL and second one is PLA, programmable logic array, programmable array logic. Right? If you have any small logic, like if you want to implement some AND logic, we can get that AND logic in form of standardized. Suppose if I need like or plus and or plus and see here one point is missed. See if you want to purchase or logic, we can purchase a IC called standardized that will be available in market. It will be with 74XX series. You might have done the experiments in your digital electronics lab with all these ICs, standard ICs. Now, what is my requirement? I need to have OR logic, I need to have AND logic, where you can connect ICs like this. You can use in your application. But in another scenario, in my oxygen concentrator, I need OR plus, AND plus, AND plus, not plus, XOR plus, XNOR plus something else. In how many times? Suppose in my project, same logic, I need to use this logic 10 times, not single time. Then what happens by using the standard ICs? The size of my device will be increased. Suppose if I want to place oxygen concentrator in Gandhi Hospital, if I implement this logic with this integrated circuit, that oxygen concentrator occupy the place up to Osmania Hospital. By using these what standardizes, that means the size will be increased. The size will be extended from Gandhi to Osmania. So I should not do like this. Will anybody accept that? Will anybody buy that oxygen concentration? Then I have to sell that oxygen concentrator with 1 crore price. Does anybody buy that? No, nobody will buy that. So for implementing these logics, these standard ICs are not suitable. Then what I have to do? I have to use what? I have to use what? These PLDs, programmable logic device, right? What is the advantage of this programmable logic device? This is physically, it looks like this. It may be a PLA, it may be PAF. See, in PLA, AND logic will be first, OR logic will be next. In PAL, AND logic, OR logic will be first, AND logic will be second. So, whenever I am having the requirement like this, OR plus, AND plus, NOR plus like this, we can use this PLDs for programming it, right? That is for sure, right? That is this PLD is what they are doing. This is facilitating the user or the developer for simplifying the logic. When there is the requirement of 10 standardizes, by taking this PLD, we can program it. Suppose if we want to implement an expression like x equal to a plus bc plus ca plus b. Suppose at your home there are two water tanks. You are using one motor for filling those two water tanks, right? Motor should off when it has to go into off condition, right? After two tanks has been filled. See, when the two tanks are completely filled, then only the motor should go off, right? For implementing this kind of logic, you can take this PLD, you can purchase this PLD from the market, you can implement that, you can program that. That is the use of PLD. See, if you have major and logic, you can go for PL. If you have major or logic, then you can go for PLE. A minute difference, right? Both will be both will be what looks similar. That is about PLD. What it is, a programmable logic device in the electronic component used to build reconfigurable digital circuits. One more thing, the advantage with this PLD is, see, I told you, according to your water motors, you have programmed that water tanks, you have programmed that you are using from many years. Now, what happened? You want to extend this water tank, you want to add one more tank. Now, in place of two water tanks, now you have built one more water tank. Then what you have to do, if it is not reprogrammable, if this PLD is not reprogrammable, then you have to remove entire thing, all remove the PLD, right? Then you have to buy a new PLD. You have to make your logic for three water tanks. Now the advantage of this PLD is you need not to remove that PLD. If you want to add one more tank, you can add that. What the thing is, you can change some logic in your PLD. That means you can reprogram it, you can reconfigure it. That is the advantage of this PLD. That was not there with standard IC, that was not there with what ASIC. Unlike a logic gate, which has fixed function, PLD has a undefined function at the time of manufacture. Right? If we manufacture a standard IC, it will only provide that particular AND operation, only provide OR operation. So with this PLD, whatever logic you have, you can implement on the PLD, right? PLD offers customers wide range of logical capacity features, speed, voltage characteristics. PLD can be reconfigured any number of functions at a time. With the programmable logic device, designers add inexpensive software tools to quickly develop, similarly test their designs. We need not to use mental graphics and all a complicated software. A simple software like Keel is enough. Why we are discussing this? We can use this PLD here at the place of this system code. That's why we are discussing this. Remember that. Don't forget that. See, next, PLDs have following two major types. Suppose one single PLD is not enough for my logic. I told you like 10 number of ors, 10 number of AND gates. Like I told you the example of Gandhi to Osmania Hospital. That much big logic. Then that PLDs may not enough for us. I need to connect 10 number of PLDs. So for overcoming that drawback, if it is bigger logic, 10 lines of logic, For overcoming that, they invented what CPL is. See, they have taken some 10 number of PLDs, they combined together, they made what? CPLD, complex programmable logic device. That means we can implement what? Bigger logics. See here, this is a CPLD. It consists of many what? PLDs. We can write bigger logics. I'll show you. Bigger logics here. It can accommodate what? Lengthier logic. See here. See here. Are you able to see this? It is a structure of PLD. Physically, it looks like this. If we draw the architecture for this, it consists of lot of PLDs. Each PLD is connected with input outputs. Each PLD will be connected with another PLD, right? To suppose if a logic ended here, A equal to B plus C plus D plus E plus H ended here, a logic. Suppose if you want to add some more logic like X plus Y plus Z, we can write in this block another logic like J plus I plus O right here, R plus S plus T here. So we can write bigger logics. That is the use of what? CPLD, complex programmable logic device. It is nothing but a combination of lot of PLDs, right? See, the disadvantage of, see, not disadvantage, the limitation of CPLD is it will not have any memory. Suppose in program, what happens? Sometimes we have to save some data values. Like if it comes to the oxygen concentration, I have to write some program like these are the values of oxygen. Suppose the patient oxygen level is decreased from 93, you have to start supplying the oxygen. In this case, where I have to save that 93 value, I have to save it somewhere, right? See, up to now in case of PLD or CPLD, we can write only logic. We are not having any facility to store any kind of value. Even 93, it is hardly 8-bit number. We are not having any facility to store these smaller values. In case of CPL, see, after that they modified, they added something, but I am talking about basic CPL. It is not having any facility to save this 93 value. Then for overcoming that, they invented FPGA. What is this? Field Programmable Gate Array. It offers highest amount of logic density. That means you can accommodate bigger logics in smaller area. See, in CPLD, if it is taking some 64 KB of memory for writing a simple logic, in case of FPGA, what it takes what 4 bytes of memory. For example, I am saying this 4 bytes of memory is enough for writing a logic. That facility is there. One more thing, it is added with memory. Every time we need not to give input values, we can save that values here, right? How it looks like this FPGA. There are many companies of FPGAs. Altera is a company, Spartan is a company. In our labs, we are also having this FPGAs. We have vertex boards. See, this is a FPGA which is manufactured by Xilinx. See, physically it looks like this. It looks like this. We can use this FPGA as a core of our embedded system. That is the basic thing. You should not forget that. See, I told you that here memory was added. See, input and output lines, same as like CPLD. Every PLD is connected, interconnected. That was there. Here also, we are using PLDs as a CLB. CLB is what? Complex logic block. See, note it down. CLB is what? Complex logic block. I'll show you what it consists of. CLB. Here it consists of FPGA consists of lot of CLBs and memory also. Everything, every CLB is connected to input output lines. Every CLB is connected to memory. What CLB consists of? CLB in FPGA. See, for your understanding, it consists of a device which is similar to PLD, right? CLB is a combination of lot of PLDs, right? It includes PLDs, it includes FPGA, includes what? Memory. So by taking the advantage of these these CPLDs and FPGAs, what basically we are using? We are basically using only PLDs, right? Right? We are able to what? Implement lot of logics, right? See, when it comes to these boards, see these CPLD and FPGA boards, we get like a board, not like a single chip. We get like a board. By connecting that board to our system, our computer, we can write any logic in terms of program. We need not to write x equal to y plus z plus a plus b plus c plus or plus end. We can write that in terms of program. Suppose if we want decoder logic, if we call with a word like a decode, it that decoder operation will be performed. So by with this FPGA code, by connecting our system, we can write program with in VHDL language. We can write program in Verilog language. We can write the program in your C language, embedded C itself. So after loading the program in FPGA, right? Suppose if we have written a program for traffic light, we can use that board in traffic light directly. We'll continue this next class. Meanwhile, I'll be taking your attendance. Be online. It is not end of this topic. I'll be explaining about PLDs in next class also. After that, we'll move towards next topic. You have to understand these topics. See, in some day you may be deployed in electronics project. Your client may be what? Your client may be some electronics manufacturer. He gives a project in electronics where these knowledge will be helpful to you.